Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox, and strangely, some good news, finally, for once. But this is news that I think needs to be told. The parole service in this country have done something good. It's a terrible tale because the man involved is an absolute animal. He should not be in jail. Personally, I would have made him dangle. I would have had him do a short drop with a sudden stop a long time ago. He committed the most heinous of crimes. He is an animal and he needs to be caged up. And thankfully the parole board in this country said yes, he needs to be caged up, and they, for the 7th time, have refused his parole and are keeping him caged up. Thank heavens we have somebody with a sense of decency. We're going to take a look at this. It is a hard story. I'm not going to go into it too deeply, but there are a couple of points that do make me very angry. But we'll look at it. It'll be quite a quick video because I don't want to linger on this. But at least this animal is still not on the streets. Here goes. So you can read the words. This terrible, terrible man, this animal, who abducted, assaulted, and then M'd a 3-year-old girl after she went to buy an ice lolly from a ice cream van, and he's refused parole for the 7th time. He must never, ever get parole. He must never be released. He must never be allowed out of prison. He had the 7th parole application turned down without being given an oral hearing. Good. So this bad man, I'm not going to say these words because YouTube will just reject this video straight out. This terrible excuse of a human being who abducted, SA'd and M'd a 3-year-old toddler will stay behind bars after being refused parole for the 7th time. Sean Armstrong, now 60, I hope to be reading this very same story in another 30 years. I don't want him dropping dead in prison. I want him to live. And I want him to make it to 100 in prison. He had his latest application turned down without being given the oral hearing by the 3-person parole board. And in a rare move, Armstrong was told he would not be able to make his case face-to-face with the parole board, and he would have to wait until 2025 to apply again. The board also refused to sanction a move to a Category D open prison, so he stays in a hard prison. Armstrong is serving a life sentence for the horrific M of little Rosie Palmer in the seaside port town of Hartlepool in County Durham in June 1994. He's been behind bars all that time, which is not anywhere. It's either not nearly long enough, or it's way too long, and he should have done a week in prison before never doing anything again. Rosie was abducted when buying a lolly from an ice cream van, and her partially clothed and very damaged body was found stuffed in a bin liner in a flat 50 metres from her home days after he snatched her. He just threw her into the trash like rubbish. That's what this man is. He used her for his pleasure and then just ended her and just threw her away. This man deserves everything he gets. I hope his whole life, I hope every day in prison for him is horrendous. I would bring back torture. You can't say that. I would bring back the kind of medieval treatment that prisoners got. I would bring it back for these people. I would take pleasure in administering it. I think you could sell tickets, roll up, see the terrible man, poke him with this. Only a fiver, five pokes for a tenner, turn this wheel and watch him squeal. You'd make a fortune, because I think most right-minded, decent people would have zero compunction in doing things like that to people like this. I'm not going to go any further other than to say that he's still in prison. He was given a minimum term of 16 years. Well, he was convicted in 1995 and was told then he'd do, quote, a life sentence. But then in 2006, a High Court judge set a term of a minimum of 16 years. That doesn't mean that he gets released after 16 years. And thankfully, it's been way, way longer than that. There she is. There's the girl. Went out to buy an ice cream. Went out to buy a lolly. And then it ended her life in the most appalling, terrible way. And then even after she'd gone, he treated her like rubbish. I'm close to tears here. I'm going to stop now and come up. These animals need to be gelded. These animals need to be euthanized. It's what you should do. These people should never be allowed out of prison. They should never be allowed to commit these crimes again. They should never be allowed to do anything ever again. They need to be taken from the dock, walked into a cell. They are given a week alone. They don't see another human being for a week until they're let out of that cell into a square, made to climb up 3 steps and put their neck through a rope. You could hold a lottery to see who wants to pull the bloody lever. And you start doing that, and things like this won't happen. Or if they do, they'll be happening a lot less often. If the people who committed these kind of things knew that that was the punishment, there'd be a lot less of it. And there certainly would be no repeat offences. And I'm going to stop now. Thank you very much for watching.